Okay, so the microphones are back on, and we've decided to switch into English just because we have one person here on site who speaks English. I hope that's okay for everyone watching the stream, if there's anyone watching the stream. I'd like to welcome you here at Kunst. This is actually organized by GameBase, this particular event. And we have a guest, Miloše Jeřábek here, over there, who's going to speak in a few minutes. I just have a few organizational things to get through. This event was originally planned only for the participants of the GameBase course, which starts today and will be running for the next 2 months. But then we decided that we will not gatekeep a really cool guy who wants to share his story with us. And we've decided to make it public. And also, if there's anyone still kind of deciding if they want to join, the registration is open until Sunday. So if there's anyone who will be kind of excited after today, you can still join. And now, as for the organization of today, few quick words from me, then we'll have an hour, like 45 an hour for Miloš until he has to run to go to Prague. And there will be a 25-minute presentation and then some discussion, so prepare your questions in advance preferably. Also in live chat I'll be kind of checking it if anyone has any questions. And after that there will be organizational information about the course itself. So if you're not interested in it, you can kind of go home, whatever. And for the rest of the course, I'd be really glad if you stay and we can discuss it more. Also, kind of the reason we're here, it's mostly to share the excitement and the experience of Miloš, but also kind of to motivate you and show you that even if you started here and like started working on maybe smaller projects in Brno, you can kind of work your way through life to bigger things. And maybe you are working on like your project right now, but maybe it's something small, but you can definitely grow it into like a really big change in your life. Ooh, okay. This is the first game-based live stream, so I'm sorry if I'm rambling. And I forgot to mention that we would also like each of you to introduce themselves just very shortly, just so we know who's sitting here in the room, what are you working on, what was the reason you kind of came here, what are your expectations, that kind of thing. So without further ado, I just pass the mic to the first person.
Hello everyone, I'm Miloš, and I will be talking very soon, so I will probably pass it straight away, so I don't bother you twice.
Okay, takže se máme představit.
No.
Okay. I switch into Czech. Já jsem Petr Láník, jsem tady za studio Kauzality, vyvíjíme hru Kauzality Core. Já osobně nejsem ani programátor, poslední programový jazyk, který jsem viděl, tak byl Basic, asi někdy v roce 1990. Jsem projektový manažer asi s 20letou praxí v zřízení projektů, ať už projekty z Evropské unie nebo další finanční řízení. Přicházím se hrou, kterou jsem v podstatě vymyslel náhodou. Měl jsem velmi naivní představu, že vymyslím nějaký GDD a to pak jako prodám někomu, nějakému studiu. On se směje, protože je to absolutně naivní. Ještě naivnější jsem měl obavu, že mi to někdo ukradne. Ta hra v podstatě samotná, o čem to je? Je to semikooperativní, terraformační sci-fi strategie, která se zaměřuje na dospělé hráče, MMO. Tu filozofii, kterou má, tak je přistupovat k dospělým jako k dospělým, takže bude respektovat čas hráčů. Nebude tam žádný grind, nebude tam žádný FOMO, nevím, jak se to řekne přesně anglicky, nebude tam nutný denní přihlášení, prostě ve chvíli, kdy se chcete přihlásit, tak můžete, když máte čas, tak se tam přihlašte, odehrajte si půl hodiny denně, nebo si hrajte 3 hodiny denně každý den, nebo 1 hodinu za týden, je to úplně jedno. Tady tu myšlenku už mám celkem ověřenou i asi na 100+ dotaznicích, kde to vycházelo naprosto geniálně, kde to bylo vidět, že tu komunitu to nadchlo. A to jsem ještě udělal tu chybu, že jsem jim vůbec neřekl, o čem ta hra je, přesto je to nadchlo. Pak jsem pochopil, že jako je hezký, co ta hra dělá, ale je potřeba, aby byla zábavná, takže už mám nějakou konkrétní představu vlastně, o čem ta hra bude. Nechci tady zabrat ten čas jenom pro sebe. Můj cíl vlastně dneska nebo celkově je nabrat nějaké kontakty, zkušenosti, nasávat, ne teda alkohol, ale veškeré informace, případně tady navázat nějakou další spolupráci. Mám celkem jasnou představu, jakým způsobem to chci vést tu hru, kam, jaký kroky postupný. Cílem je, aby to bylo mezinárodně hraný MMO, ale nejdu hned jako na hru typu Witcher a podobně, jako na tyhle úrovně. O tom jsem přemýšlel, než jsem zjistil, že to nikde neprodám, že budu muset sám sednout prostě za stroj a makat na tom úplně od nuly. Nějaké dotazy asi? Super, díky moc.
Jo, já jsem si nic moc nepřipravil, tak pojedu z patra. Takže ahoj, já jsem Mirek a jsem student informatiky a semka přicházím s gamifikovanou abstinenční aplikací Snorko. A ta aplikace se odehrává v mořském prostředí, kdy uživatel za každý den se potápí čím dál víc hlouběji a to moře je vlastně metaforou pro jakoby sebepoznání, ten vnitřní svět. No a potom za dosažení nějakého určitého cíle uživateli přijde fyzicky vytištěná na 3D tiskárně rybička za každou tu úroveň, aby jakoby si mohl podívat na to, čeho dosáhl, aby měl něco hmatatelného. A to je asi tak nějak všechno. Děkuju.
Tak ahoj, já jsem Standa, jsem tady vlastně jako úplný nováček do game devu, mám za sebou s klukama za mnou, mám za sebou první game jam a zvažoval jsem dlouho, že bych šel do game devu a ten game jam mi to tak nějak utvrdil. Studuju tady kyberbezpečnost na fakultě informatiky, mám vystudovanou grafiku a mám jako zkušenosti s programováním a s game devem vlastně jediná zkušenost, co mám, tak je malilinko, co jsem dělal sám a pak s klukama ten game jam, ale hrozně mě to nadchlo a vlastně jako asi nevidím úplně jinou cestu, kterou bych chtěl jít, jenom prostě jediné co, tak si říkám, že v dost lukrativním oboru jsem si vybral takovou nejistotu, ale jako těším se na to, uvidím, jak se mi to sami podaří, mám nějaké nápady, co bych chtěl zkusit tvořit sám a s klukama možná začínáme tak na půl studio. Zatím je to takové jako mezi kamarádama, uvidíme, co z toho bude.
Tak ahoj, já jsem Cody. Jak už říkal Standa, tak vlastně začali jsme na Game Jamu, jsme si vytvořili takový prototyp hry, kterou jsme si tak nějak navrhli a tam jsme teda vzali 5. místo, takže jsem nadšený. A vlastně jsme si řekli, hele, bavilo nás to, baví nás to spolu, baví nás ta hra, pojďme to prostě zkusit dál. A vlastně teďka primárně plánujeme co a jak, s tím, že já bych se docela rád podíval do game devu a byl to vlastně od malička takový sen. Našel jsem takový klasický ITák, půjdu do IT, udělám hru. Pak jsem přišel do IT, zjistil jsem, že hru neudělám. Minimálně ne v takové podobě, jak jsem si to představoval, a tak jsem na to začal mít takový realističtější pohled. Šel jsem na ten Game Jam, zjistil jsem co a jak a pak tam vlastně na tom Game Jamu byl jeden sponzor Gamebase a zjistili jsme, že je vlastně Open Kickoff, tak já jsem vlastně šel podívat, abych zjistil, jestli třeba příští rok do toho nepůjdem.
Tak ahoj, já jsem Štěpán, já jsem poslední z té trojice, o kterých se tady teďka mluvilo. Asi úplně to nebudu moc rozmazávat skrz ty hry a ten Game Jam, to už vlastně kluci všechno řekli. Já tady jsem primárně proto, že mě to taky začalo zajímat výrazně víc a já tak nějak proplouvám životem tím, že jako zkusím něco a když mě to trochu nadchne, tak do toho potom jdu a musí to být většinou aspoň trošku výzva, protože jinak mě to moc nebaví. A tohle byla výzva, která mě bavila hodně i skrz ten Game Jam, tak proto jsem tady a pokouším se, řekněme, víc se do toho asimilovat do toho prostředí. A to je primárně to.
Tak ahoj, já jsem Krištof. V říjnu jsem vydával svoji první hru. Projekt se jmenoval Radio Light a spolupracoval jsem s holandským publisherem na tom. Hře se docela dařilo, má teďka asi 300 recenzí na Steamu a hráči pořád přibývají, takže super. A teďka jsem šel do gamebáze tak trochu prozkoumat možnosti, protože bych si chtěl udělat svoje studio. Baví mě vytvářet jako velké světy a chtěl bych dělat jako větší hry, takže bych na to potřeboval víc lidí a chci poznat víc lidí právě v té komunitě tady, takže se mi líbilo, že tady je gamebáze, kde můžu právě přijít a seznámit se s ostatními lidmi, co to mají podobně. A teďka dělám už na dalším projektu, který mám rozpracovaný a který je teprve ve fázi prototypu, takže vymýšlím, co a jak dál.
Hi, I'm Asya. I'm the only non-Czech speaker here. I'm sorry. I'm a student at informatics faculty at Uni. I'm studying game dev, and it's all. Because I had no idea what you was talking about.
Everyone was talking about mostly what they are working on, what they kind of expect, or why are they here. So.
And I can say that I'm currently working on a companion app for a war game company called Elfall Chronicles.
Hi, I'm Dominic, and with Anna here we're working on a game called Red Pain, and it's a narrative adventure with the main character who is a journalist, and in short I would say it's from normalization, like 70s, 80s from Czech Republic, and she's trying to solve a mystery that she came across, and it's connected to the oppression of the regime and her fight for autonomy. And I'm mainly behind the IT side, and so we're trying also to get it to global market. So I'm here mostly to get to know all the information that is behind it and make sure that we don't forget some crucial processes, and also to get some contacts and ideas from other people.
So hey, I'm Thomas. I'm currently a student at Masaryk University studying game development. I'm slowly but hopefully surely finishing. And I'm also part of the incubator here at Kunst with my game Destilerio that I was pitching this Tuesday at our, not annual, like every monthly meetup. So well, most of you have seen me pitch it, I'm pretty sure. Those who didn't, it's a game about illegally making alcohol. So exact opposite of the lofty expectations or aspirations on the other side of this table. And I think I will just leave it at that.
So I'm Anna, hi, and as Dominic said, we founded a company in January, so it's still just very newborn baby, and we did it for like bureaucratic purposes, and it's called Nobody's Business. Because, yeah, we are working on this title called Red Pain that is situated in normalization period of Czechoslovakia, but I also did the writing for it, and I wanted to bring these topics that I feel are still missing from gaming. That is like feminism and like deeper social issues and like social justice and this stuff. So I'm the like annoying activist here. You don't have to do it. And I will need to leave at like half an hour because I have a child and I should probably take care of it. So yeah, that's what they say.
Thank you everyone for your time as well. Time is very precious. I was really glad to kind of get to know all of you. Sounds really interesting. Well, most of your projects, all of your projects sound interesting. Sorry, that was like this one. Yeah, so I think we know each other sufficiently. I just want to point out that this QR code is actually the registration for the course. So if anytime during the day, during this next hour and a half, you decide that this is the moment and I'm joining, that you are free to do so. And now I will just pass the mic, as they say, to Miloš. I know that you will kind of hear from him all of his life's work, but just a quick few words. He has experience from working on Mafia to live ops games to AAA, and currently he's an executive producer at Tencent. So insane if you ask me. But yeah, I will leave it to you. Hopefully you'll enjoy, and don't forget to ask a question at the end.
Thank you.
Obligatory.
Awesome. So, does the online actually hear me well? Is everything all right? Can you hear me? Ah, perfect. Awesome. So, yes. Hello, everyone. Very nice to meet you, and thank you very much for the intro and for the invitation. I've been actually working with YITS and with the Southern Moravian region for quite a while, and in fact, you know, my heart is always in Brno, even though I'm not exactly local, but I studied here as well at Masaryk University. And yeah, my first steps in game development wasn't exactly here. They were in Bohemia, but then majority of the big stuff in Czech Republic for me was actually from here. And today I'll be talking a little bit about my past and about what I went through. And I would like to tell it more as a story of you know, a person who came from true garage, similarly like you started, you know, your pitches, the same thing, you know. We started with basically two people, hey, we have an idea, let's make a game. And just to find out that we were idiots, because we didn't have an idea. We just didn't know what we are doing. But that was actually part of the fun. All the way to, you know, now the big evil corporation that for many actually can be seen, the big companies. But I will try to explain it, it's not as bad as it sounds. So, first and foremost, yes, the slides were done by AI, proudly. And I'm not sorry for it. The truth is that I'm actually using it for speeding up my process, and I don't have a concept artist to help me, and visually, I'm completely blind. Joking on that side, but I'm actually really bad with visually in general. So I'm a producer and I'm a designer. Art is definitely not my side, and AI can help me with that. So the slides were done by me and then polished by ChatGPT. So I want to give you the credit. Anyway, so to start with, you know, right now, I think this is my 23rd year in the industry. I started when I was 15, 16 years old, and my journey literally started by me writing the stories. I was working, I was studying, and at the same time working for local newspapers, you know, as an LF, as an intern, was sometimes writing them stories. I was as well writing the stories for my school, high school in Kutná Hora in Bohemia. And a friend of mine came to me, and I was playing games, of course, and I was writing novels. A friend of mine came to me and was like, hey, I would like to make a game, but I need someone to write me a story, screenplay, can you do it? Of course, right? What is it? Come on, it's just an idea. So I will write a cool book, and he will actually code it. Easy. Well, no, that's not how it works. Very quickly, we got to a situation when, you know, I was writing stuff, which was very cool. There was lots of cool ideas. It was naive, but cool. And he was always coming with, no, this is not working this way. No, this cannot work that way. No, that cannot work that way. And very quickly, I found out that he is just so bad that he cannot actually introduce my ideas to the game. It was all his fault, of course. And I decided that I would show him how to do it better, and I became a level designer. I started learning scripting, I started learning engine side, how to implement, and I found out I was an idiot. Because the problem wasn't him, the problem was me. I found out that there is a very big issue and very big difference between an idea and implementation. And since then, it's a thing that I'm always trying to preach to everyone. It's great to have an idea, but ideas are for free. They are cheap. Everyone has ideas. I bet that if you go on the street, you will have lots of ideas. Ideas and opinions, they are always free. They are always abundant. How to take those and make from them the gold, that is called a game, implementation, a system. That's actually what really matters. And that's the first step, and for me, a reborn from, coming as a gamer, as a, someone who has a lot of energy, to the, okay, I'm a game developer. I always say that the biggest difference between a junior designer and regular designer is that they understand this difference. I have an idea, and I actually know how to actually implement it and execute it. There's a big difference, and to be honest, if you take a look on career of many developers, that's exactly when they decide to leave and quit. A lot of young people, and even older people like me, when they join the industry, they are very optimistic. Then they find out this issue, and they will just quit. For example, Mafia, we had more than 50% people who were actually quitting and never continued after Mafia, because they actually found this conundrum. And it's very important. It's important. So, for me, from all the slides, one thing to remember is that, especially for all of you, because you are starting, you are trying to get to the industry, implementation. That's what really matters. So after we actually worked on our 2.5D adventure game, we actually shipped it. It's still on Steam. It's very naive. You can play it. It's called Alternativa. Check subtitles as well, localization. And thank you very much to the person straight over there, because without him, it actually would never happen. And I actually have to give him as well kudos for this never happening, because he is actually one of the founders of a game base. So Jakub is behind the game access and all of the activities here in Brno. And I'm always joking that, in my opinion, Czech game industry is actually standing on top of a Slovak, which is something that we should think about. Love you. So after Alternativa, I got a call out by 2K. Or back in the days, it was Illusion Softworks. In fact, I was the last official employee of Illusion Softworks, and I was working for Illusion Softworks exactly 2.5 hours. Because the day when they actually announced me joining the company, I was on an all-hands meeting where everyone was introduced, and then they said, by the way, this is Miloš, and we are now Take-Two. So, good. It was actually quite an interesting story, because I had to ask them, like, do I still continue? But very quickly, I started as a technical designer, level designer, mission scripter, and we were actually building a Mafia 2, and one of the things that was actually missing there was connection between environment art, original art, design, and engineering. We found out that there was a missing bit, and that bit was called technical design. It was actually a new thing it was the time when, many years ago, when sort of from teams of 3, it started to become, team of 30, 100, 150. And they started to be those specializations, and there was as well issues in communication. And when they were establishing that team, they asked me if I would like to become the lead. And I was 22, and I said yes, and I should not. And they should not have ever asked me. The truth is that I was way too young to become a lead. And it's not about the age. It's not really about the age, but it's about being mature enough. One of the problems that many of the leads are still going through, and I always say that leadership is a skill. It's not something that, it's basically a hard skill, it's not the soft skills. And you cannot really learn, it needs to be something that is you either have or don't. And it's fine if you don't have it, you can actually go still the principal part. But me as a lead, I was awful lead. And in fact, I apologized to every single of my subordinates from Take-Two, except one, because that person deserved all the shit he got. And yeah, I'm still standing proudly behind that one. But for all the others, I actually apologized. Because, frankly speaking, I was awful lead. I was actually very bad. And the fact was that, I wasn't ready yet to put a team first. I wasn't ready yet to put a team and a people on a pedestal. I wasn't ready yet to really, give up all the micromanagement and doing stuff with my own hands, to let others to do it, to let them become the best, to let them show what they can do, and just to teach them and help them and enable them. And that's true leadership. Leadership is not about you being the best and showing everyone how amazing you are. If you have that urge in you, please, for the love of God, don't become a lead. Become a CEO, that's possible, and many of the CEOs are like that. That's fine. Like I always say that every successful company has a CEO who, for many, can be a very difficult person because they have a vision and they have actually, they are going for it. They are, pushing through. A lead is a different thing though. Lead needs to actually grow the people, grow the talent, help people to become their better themselves, and actually be in the shadow. I always say that me as a producer or lead, the best thing ever is I come on Monday and I find out I don't have to do anything. Then I succeeded. And for me, I will not talk much about the pointers except this one, which is verify but trust. I kept it in there, and it actually sounds funny, right? It should be right, vice versa. No. The truth is that, yes, you should verify the work of others. But that's, as a lead, that's not the main thing. The main thing is the trust part. You have to trust your people. If you don't trust your people, there are two questions I have. Why do you have them? And are you sure that you are doing everything correctly? Probably not. And one of the very hard things for me up until today is actually letting people fail. And you as a lead have to actually do that. And I think it's as well something that you as a parent at some point, especially like you are going home with kids. I have actually a kid at home as well. And I know that sometimes, you know, the kid, 3 times my son tried to take a chili from a table. I told him 3 times not to. On the 4th, I was like, Then he took it, he started crying. I just looked at him, I was like, don't cry. I told you no, don't do it. You've done something wrong. And since then, he knows that he should never touch the chili. I knew it's not gonna kill him. It's gonna hurt him. And he learned. And since then, he always comes like, can I? It's like, yes, you can, or no, you can't. That's the way how you learn. And you have to do the same thing to your employees. You have to do the same thing to your people. So after I shipped Mafia 2, I as well joined Topspin 4, amazing project, but I always wanted to go abroad. And yeah, going abroad is a challenge. So after 2K, I joined I had 2 opportunities. One was China, going to 2K China. The other one was small like mid-sized studio in Slovenia. So the China thing was maybe a little bit too big of a leap for my partner back in the days. So I took the Slovenia. And it was hell at start. Because very quickly I found out one thing. It's super easy to be a visitor in a country, especially if you have money. It's extremely difficult to relocate because you are alone. You probably start running out of money. You have no idea about the place. You have no idea about the people. You will have to go through hell and back. And it's as well the best thing I've ever done. And to be honest, I have never, I've came to Czech Republic for 1 year since then. Otherwise, I'm always actually somewhere else, somewhere abroad, in crazy countries like Belarus. So it was actually fun. But you need to get ready. And like, I actually on purpose asked as well for a picture of burned house because yes, my house in Slovenia actually burned down. So yeah, you have to literally learn your ways. Through how is it actually when your house burns out and you are actually establishing stuff like that. Doing registrations, being in a country where they say that everyone speaks English and they don't. Going to officials with no support sometimes. What do you do? When you are reborning, I always say that number 1, first month is great, usually. If the relocation is done well, then the first month is great because you are a visitor. Then there is the crash of your dreams for like 3 to 6 months. When everything will start falling down on you, you'll feel depressed. Hopefully the project and the team is great, but the experience is going to be very difficult. And then, after the 12 months, you either make it or break it. At Remedy, I will be talking about Remedy on the next one, but at Remedy, we had a saying that before 12 months, before 1 year, you haven't relocated yet. We took you as integrated after the first year, and we had even a specific integration team that was actually taking care of this experience because it's very difficult. But in Slovenia, we were working with Ubisoft, small games. It was lots of fun. But at the same time, I saw how lonely it can be, especially if you have no one with you. So when you are relocating, think about yourself as well. Think about the way. I'm still saying relocation is awesome, and you should try different companies. You should try different teams. You should try actually different countries. It will enrich your life. But get ready. It's going to be rough. After Slovenia, I got a call. When the first time Remedy called me, I thought they were joking. Remedy, come on. I'm a dude from Czech Republic. I'm nobody. Remedy is calling. They're actually asking me to come for an interview. Like, sure. I didn't even prepare it. I didn't even know that in Finland they pay in euros. Yes, my geography is almost as bad as my art, and my girlfriend can definitely confirm. But when I actually went to the interview, suddenly to a room came Samijärvi, Sam Lake. Probably know him. Who played Max Payne? Okay. Oh wow. I'm old. So now to the point about the veteran. Yes, I would actually call it you are old, Miloš. So Max Payne is a great game that was actually big in my times. And actually the main character was made by the writer, by Samijärvi. You probably know Sami from Alan Wake. Is the spokesperson of Alan Wake, the creator of Alan Wake. So in fact, Max Payne, the character is Sam Lake, his face. When I came to an interview, I didn't know that actually about that person. It was, and then suddenly, the character came to a room. I was like, the heck? At Remedy, when they said yes, I was amazed. And I was really thankful. I joined as a senior level designer on Quantum Break, even though I had no idea what I'm joining. To be honest, they're like NDAs. They couldn't even tell me the project. I first thought I'm actually joining for Alan Wake 2. But no, I was joining for Quantum. And I started as a senior level designer, very quickly shifted to lead level designer. And at some point they came to me after some discussions, internal issues, and they asked me, hey Miloš, would you like to become the producer and actually lead the production? And my first reaction was like, hell no. You are telling a creative person, someone who's been doing design for my whole career, my whole life. I'm doing what I love. You're asking me to be producer, to be the pencil pusher, the one who is always bringing coffee and actually annoying everyone with Jiras? No. Went home, I was talking to my best friend who was actually working under me, and Roman Peter, and he was like, you kidding me? You are already doing production anyway, so what the hell are you doing? You are not even that creative. You were always either in leadership or you were actually helping people to ship stuff. Why don't you just finally say, that's what you do? And I came on Monday to the office, I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And I joined the dark side. I joined the people who are bothering everyone with a lot of spreadsheets, showing graphs, and talking about time and money. And I think it was actually a great decision, because to me, production is very important. But the one thing about production, I think, especially in games, the best producers are coming actually from developers. They are coming from people who were doing the craft before. It's extremely important. I know lots of producers who were producers only, who never done it with their hands, but the best engineering production is coming from ex-engineers. The best art producers were ex-artists. The best producers for feature teams are ex-designers. This is great because you are actually coming and you know what they are going to be doing. It's super important. I as well know some producers who are coming purely from PMO side, like the project management office, like producers, project managers. It's usually quite tough. They very quickly end up on the corporate level. And even though now I'm saying it as a corporate employee, but I'm more mean on the the finances and stuff. They are not as they are definitely good exceptions, but for me, I always joke that it's not the certificates you have. It's not how many times you actually pass the Scrum Master, whenever, safe, less, Agile Manifesto, can you actually say it in the morning? That doesn't really matter. What matters is, can you actually get your people excited? Can you get people to actually do it on time? And can you get people to say, heck yeah, I'm actually working for you? That's the important thing. Because as producer, guess what? You have no powers. But you have all responsibilities. That's annoying. That sucks. And I always say, when they ask me as executive producer, what is the biggest difficulty? Well, usually none of the people report to me. Yet, I'm responsible for their work. And I have to actually make them to do it. If they fail, I failed. If they succeed, well, I might have succeeded, but it's actually going to be their success anyway, and I'm just going to be probably drinking champagne in a corner. I love champagne. So yeah, that's the truth. The truth is that production is a very difficult job, but it's actually the time when you have to actually love the team, the work, the craft, and allow them, again, similar like the leads, to do them the best job. It's not about you coming, and to be honest, probably my best job was when I was actually cooking pizzas for them. I was making salad for them. You know, they came, like in Finland at Remedy, they were almost striking when we actually ran out of coffee. Guess what? Guess who actually went for coffee? It was me. They were working and I was actually running to the closest shop. That was my job. That's a producer's job. Producer's job is to do anything to the people that they can actually do their job the best, the fastest. It's not about screaming at them. It's not about telling them, you know, do it on time, no. Your job is to do it in a way where they will thank you for it. That's the most important. After Remedy, you know, Remedy on the peak was about 150 plus outsourcing. So someone could say big team. Well, the truth is it's not that big. It's still like a mid-size. Right now, Remedy is a bit larger, but they still have about, like, think on Alan Wake and Control, it's like 200-300 people. But I got a call from the CEO, like an ex-CEO of Remedy, who moved to Wargaming, and he called me with a thing. Hey, Miloše, would you like to fix your game? I was avid World of Tanks player. I've played World of Tanks since closed beta. I love the game. And I knew where he joined. He joined Wargaming. He was working on World of Tanks. And he asked me, like, hey, do you want to take the project over? It's like, well, for me, Remedy was a family. You know, I love them. I really do. And I still love them. I still consider them as one of the best teams in the world. But this was very hard to say no to. It was insanely hard. Except one thing. Miloše, do you know where is the main team? I do. It's called Minsk, Belarus. Okay, are you willing to relocate? That was the question. But yeah, I did. I jumped there and I took over the World of Tanks PC. And I thought that, you know, hey, I shipped Quantum Break. I just actually established, you know, the production at Remedy with over, you know, 100 plus people. I already know, you know, the big business. We shipped the game. We are actually working on multiple projects. It's gonna be easy. Then they actually dropped me 500 people directly and 300 people indirectly. And in 3 months, like in a month, Matthias came to ask me, like, how are you doing? I was like, all good, everything is fine, you know, I have it under control. Then he came 2 months in and he was like, so what? I was like, I have no idea what I'm fucking doing. I don't know, I really don't know. Because I tried to use the same methods as I used at Remedy at Wargaming. That doesn't work. Scaling is not working. And that was the moment when Matthias sat down with me and he told me actually a big truth. Everyone goes slowly through until they find out their ceiling. And it's fine to say, this is my ceiling, and then you have to go back. It's not simple to go up. And it's not simple as well to go from a small team to the big team. And for me, I had to think, is this actually really for me? Is the 800, 1,000, like on total, if you take development plus publishing plus outsourcing, in that moment on World of Tanks was about 1,500 people. Just for you to understand, Ubisoft is about 5,000 on single project, without marketing. 5,000. That was actually Division 2. 5 and 3 zeros. Yeah? So a little bit bigger than the 5 people. Even this one is already insane. Organizing something like this is just, pfft. And all the methods that you know from right now will actually fail on you. You cannot check everything. Like I had a running joke. If I know your name in my team, it means 2 things. Either it's really good, and you probably did something really well, or it's very bad. And the rule of thumb was, you don't want me to know your name. Because usually, I learned the bad ways. But like, that's the moment when you have to stop thinking about how do I do things, and start thinking how do I allow others to really do things, and how do I actually build a structure to allow the others to do. And you stop thinking about the product, you will stop thinking about the people, and you will start thinking about processes, structures, operations, how to scale it up. You will start thinking about the process in a very different way. And for me, it was as well the moment when I found out how amazing is distributed development. It's actually one of my big passions. It's probably not yet relevant for you folks, but at some point when you will be scaling, that's the more, like, you've heard about outsourcing probably already. So outsourcing is, I have a work, usually in art, because usually outsourcing starts by art or QA, and I actually send it to other company, right? Then there is insourcing. I will actually ask the company to send me some people, and they will be working for a while in my place. And then there is distributed development. I have a big part of a work, like, for example, a game mode, and I will give it to someone else. and I will forget about them. And hopefully, in a year, they will bring something amazing. And in fact, the most successful gameplay event that was ever developed for World of Tanks was not done by World of Tanks team. It was done by Bonkfish in Austria, by distributed development. It took a pain, and that's exactly the example of how you build structure and how you enable others without you actually doing anything. Theoretically, I wasn't there. So that was wargaming. 2 years, we shipped 1.0, it was amazing, but at the same time, in that moment, now my ex-wife, but previously my partner, I asked her, like, can you stay for 3 more years? I've never dropped from project. I always finish my projects. That's actually a thing of really my soul. And I knew that the next one is going to be about 3 years. And she's like, no, I cannot stay in Minsk for 3 years. So I was like, okay, in that case, I will have to leave. And we opened a company. We decided to go crazy. It was the time of 2016, 2018. You could actually get lots of money with a good CV and a PowerPoint presentation. And we opened it in Finland because I love Finland. And yeah, it was the moment when I was actually told by my girlfriend, don't have this on a slide. She said, like, don't put bankruptcy and words like this in there. Well, I'm sorry if she's looking high, and I kept it in there. Sometimes I'm stubborn, but the truth is that if you go to a big fund, one of the first things that the big fund in States, like with the ones that are giving you the trillions, they will ask you a simple question: have you bankrupted the company already? If you say no, they will say, like, okay, we will not give you the money. They want to be sure that you bankrupt the company before. The reason is simple. You will stop being afraid of bankrupting your company. Because at some point, you will. If you are actually doing stuff long enough, you will fail. And you need to know how failure feels. You need to know how failure actually goes. Because if you are afraid of failure, you will fail. But the thing is, failing is good. But failing is good if it's cheap, fast, and if it doesn't hurt. Failing is awful if it's expensive, long, and suffering. And last few years of Red Hill, we were suffering. It was actually not easy. The industry right now is, we probably heard about Epic, right? To the 1,000 people, like 25% of the staff goes down in like this. You need to be ready for it. If you want to have your own business, at some point, you will fail. It might be a failed project, it might be a failed employee, it might be bankruptcy of the company. But you need to get ready for it. You must not be afraid of it. And it doesn't matter what I say right now, you will be. That's fine. You will go through it. You will go through it, and at the end, you will embrace the end. Like for me, the best moment, the best revelation was when we actually said it out loud. We are closing the company. The good thing, we actually did not bankrupt in like a financial matter. We actually paid all the bills and everything. So it was the better case. But yeah. But the one thing I learned out of this is that being owner very often sucks. The truth is that when they succeed, it's success of your employees. If there's any problem, it's your problem. No one is actually going to fix the issues for you. It's you. It's as well amazing because you are building something with your hands, and you will hear that you suck, basically by everyone, because that's embracing, and you need to be okay with it. And that's actually building a company for you. And it's as well a thing that, in my opinion, everyone should go through, because then you will be thankful to all the companies, to all the leads, to all the people that you were working under before. You will start to understand that sometimes you are just stubborn, sometimes they just cannot do anything in any other way. It just is. And for me, I'm so happy that we had Red Hill. I'm so happy we opened a company, and I'm in some ways happy that we bankrupted. Would I actually prefer not to close it? Heck yeah. Of course, I would love to actually, have still the company, ideally have billions and open my own vineyards. And sorry, I studied enology and viticulture as well on the University of Mendel. I love wine. But no, it didn't go that way. I'm still very thankful for the experience because it actually showed me how important it is to fail and not to be afraid of it. And yeah, when I was wrapping up with Red Hill, I got a call from a dude with a very big name. The big name behind his title was Tencent. And you probably, who knows Tencent, out of curiosity? Okay. So right now, Tencent and Sony are the two largest gaming companies in the world. In fact, I think this year Tencent is going to be officially the largest, even above Sony, including the PlayStation business. Tencent is huge. They as well have, other stuff, like WeChat, banking, lots of stuff. And the first thing was like, hey, we are looking for a digital producer for our publishing team. And again, I was like, whew, jumping from dev to the other side, the investment. Now, it was the team that, in fact, I was talking to, and they did not give us the money. And they were like, hey, would you like to join us, maybe? And I was like, whew, I'm a developer. I'm a game developer. I'm making games. And you are asking me now to be judging the others. You are asking me now to, let go and be with the investors looking on the stuff. And I remembered a name, Neil Petit. And I think I actually misspelled his name. I hope that he's still watching. Neil was on the publishing side of Microsoft when we were shipping Quantum Break. And every single time, everyone sees the publishers, the investors as the evils who are always coming, asking you the annoying questions and pointing out mistakes in your plan. Then we got Neil. And I have to say one thing. We would never freaking ship Quantum without that guy. This dude was amazing. He was publishing producer, and he helped us to ship it. He helped us to get it out by coming in and asking simple question, how can I help? How can I help you folks? He came from development, and he actually landed in the publishing side. He was actually before a captain of a submarine as well, which was funny. He was as well like that, tiny. And, or he is still. He lives now in Cyprus. And at some point when he came, the worst line I've ever heard from him was, when I presented him the plan, he was like, Miloš, I was in a submarine 500 meters under the water, and the electricity shut down. This is worse. I was like, okay, my plan sucks. But I love that relationship. I really love that relationship with him. And I remembered him. And the thing was that, I believe that people should learn. We should actually always learn something new. And within game development, I learned almost everything, except I've never been on the Neil side. And when they actually asked me, I remembered the publishing people might not be always bad. The publishing people might not be always the evil. Publishing people can help. Can I be that guy? Can I be the person who will join the other side and try to help them? And after about 10 months, I think it was a very long process, we agreed that, okay, let me actually see. Let me see where we failed. Let me see it from the eyes of the people that were before telling us, like, this might not work, this might not work. And yeah, that's where I'm right now. I'm now working at Tencent. I'm working with Techland in Poland, where I'm actually sitting with the developers. So I'm Tencent employee, but at the same time I'm in Techland office, basically 4 to 5 days a week. And it took 3 months before they decided, like, hey, do you want to actually be level design director as well? So I'm helping them actually as well on site. So sometimes I'm like, just yesterday I was on director's meeting with the other people, and I asked the EP on Techland side, like, hey, can you actually borrow me your head? Because I was talking as a Techland person, as the director in Techland, and then I took the bat on my head, and I was like, so now I'm Tencent person, okay? I'm sometimes doing that, or I'm actually taking 2 chairs and I'm actually putting stickers on it, Techland, Tencent, and I'm actually sitting, depends on how they should be seeing me. And it's awesome. It's amazing to see how it actually works on the other side. And I'm still learning. I'm still not sure if I'm actually even good at it. I don't think so. I think it will take me years to figure it out. And I will probably figure it out in case something goes well or bad. My first work with Techland is actually now out, patch 1.6, the big overhaul. Is the restored land that we just shipped yesterday. And if you will play the Carmageddon, roadkills, the car challenges, they were actually co-directed by me. So I'm super happy to have, my first, I did it, in there. And I think the journey is at the beginning. What is going to be next? I really don't know. I really don't, but I'm excited about it. You know, the industry goes through lots of changes, and I'm super happy to see actually new people of, you know, different background, different stories coming with the same thing like, you know, I started at the beginning. I love games. I have a passion to do something. I want to actually push through. I actually want to, you know, do something very, very cool. And I have that burning need. Because frankly speaking, entertainment, like games are entertainment, right? So entertainment is from the word entertained. We are entertaining people. How we want to entertain if we are not entertained? It's as simple as that. Every developer should be entertained. And as soon as the developer will lose that fire, if I will ever lose that fire, I will drop it. You know, when I started with my girlfriend, and I hope that now she's not watching, but when I started dating with my girlfriend, it was at the end of part of Red Hill, of our company, and it was a tough time. You know, I didn't have much of an energy, and I wasn't sure if even, you know, it's still there, because it was very tough, really dark moments. And then when I was actually working on the roadkill with Techland already, or for Techland even, she was sitting in there, she was listening to a meeting with me, between me and the people, and then she started smiling, and then I actually closed the call after like 2 hours, and she looked at me, and she was smiling, like, it's so awesome to see you happy. I didn't know that you can be so happy about work. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you are glowing, like, I see you having so much passion after so long. Where is it coming from? I was like, I'm a game developer. I reminded myself again why I'm doing this. I do it because I love the craft. I do it because I love the people like you who are actually passionate for what they are doing. And I love it for the games. And I hope that we will all do it that way. Thank you. That was it. And I forgot to put the slide with questions, some questions. And I think it was not 25 minutes, right?
It was definitely longer.
I'm sorry.
But I mean,
you were right, it was too long.
But and I think that your girlfriend actually did text the chat that she's watching, so.
Damn it.
So I just need to check.
In that case, I have to give her one thing. You were right, it was too late. It was too long. I should have removed 2 slides.
Yes. I'll wait for the questions in the chat if there are any. Does anyone have a question? Here, okay. I will do the thing when I bring the microphone to you.
And I will try to answer everything.
It feels so much worse with the microphone in my hand. It's too official. I wanted to ask, since you're in such a high position in such a big company, how do you see the game market right now? Because I've seen, it is not my opinion, I've seen it in a game, in a video essay, but I kind of liked it and I feel like I identify with it, that games are getting too still because they're trying to be too broad. Like they're trying to appeal to everyone, and in doing so, they appeal to no one. What's your opinion on that?
I think it's a very good point. I do think that finding your market, finding your audience is super important. And you know, the big players, they can try it, but if you are starting with a small team, I think finding your niche, finding your market, and finding your audience is the first thing to do. Fully agree with that. And even for the big companies, I think it's very important even for them to first think, what is our core? What is our core audience? And you should not move before you find out. One thing I would as well say, the core audience is not you. And it should not be you. If you feel that you are the core audience, maybe you are doing wrong game. Because doing game for yourself is usually a bad idea. Because you will start putting too much of your own perception. You should always create a persona. So what I actually like to do is making a persona. And maybe making 2, 3, 4 personas. Like you have the core, then you have the wider one. But you are right. Like trying to make a thing for everyone is probably gonna end up no one really liking it. Because it's very difficult. It's not impossible. It is. And yes, if it hits, whew, you know, prepare the bag for money. But you will as well most likely fail. You are most likely to fail if you go that way. As I said, I'm not saying it's impossible. You know, take a look on Ark Riders, they actually hit it. You know, take a look on Helldivers before they hit it as well.
Or Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yeah,
yes, Jesus Christ, yes. I'm still playing Minecraft myself. You know, my son is now playing Minecraft. He's 4.5 years old. And he loves it. Like basically, if there is something with Minecraft, I have to buy it. But they are very rare, and not everyone will hit it. If you actually start building the game, the best idea is like, okay, what is the core? Who is the main audience? Because frankly speaking, if you hit that, they can help to as well emphasize and emphasize and emphasize, and basically be your main popularizers, be the marketing machine behind it without putting the marketing money. Because frankly speaking, the big corpos, they have actually lots of money that they can actually fuel in. You don't, most likely, unless you are really rich. And trust me, those money really quickly disappear. So yes, focusing and narrowing down what your game is best and who is it for is the best way. I fully agree.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
This is more maybe of a personal question for you, but at such a high position, don't you feel detached? Because I feel like there's stigma about people in big corporates, in big companies, on higher positions, that they don't understand the market anymore. Like, do you still play? Do you feel connected with the community gaming?
So I will say it this way. I would almost split it into two questions. I think there is the, do you feel the community? Because that's not maybe even connected to the corporation. I think it's as well connected to age. I'll be honest, like my girlfriend was joking when she saw that there was written the veteran. Yes, I'm old. I think I'm officially old. And right now, the audience is very different from me. We're a completely different generation, I think I didn't understand it before I grew a little bit older, and I, for example, see now what my son likes. Because there is, I'm very old dad as well. And I'm like, my dad is as well pretty far away from me, but I have a brother who is actually 18 years older than me. So you can imagine how old is my dad. Quite old. And, I was saying like, Dad, I don't understand. Like, it must be very difficult for you, to be in a position of, having son so far away. And then he was like, have you calculated how far are you from your son? I was like, no, why? Do the math. I was like, oh, fuck. He was like, yeah. So that's the first element. I think there is as well an age gap and a generation gap. And, the generational gap is actually huge. And I think it's almost bigger than the corporate ladder one. Because of course, I like a little bit different games. I'm as well coming from a different background, As I said, when I said Max Payne, no one actually raised a hand. Yeah, thank God. Like, to be honest, like you have no idea what happened with my heart. Like, it literally skipped a beat. But it's a big thing. And definitely, do I understand the latest community? No. I will be honest. No, not fully. I will not try to pretend that I exactly understand what an 18-year-old right now wants. I don't think so. And I think that's the reason why we actually have to bring young talent. We have to bring young people. We have to bring people from the generation and to actually ask them to do actually research, to actually go to the players and actually ask them for it. We can have an idea, but we have to actually test it. And I think testing ideas on the community, developing it with the community, being involved in the community, reading what they are saying, trying it out, it's invaluable. And to be honest, it doesn't matter if you are from the community. You still should do it. Because again, you should not develop a game for yourself. It's a mistake. You are developing it for the other players. As soon as you do it for yourself, you will actually, it will rabbit hole you into emotions, it will rabbit hole you into wrong features. You should always test it on the people. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't play your game, you should. But it should be something that's more coming for the core audience, for the persona. So yeah, I definitely have to go to the younger ones, and like I love Brandon, I hope he is not watching, but Brandon is our data analyst who is much younger than me. And much younger than me, and he's amazing, and he's gonna replace me super quickly, and I think he's gonna have an amazing career. He's already having an amazing career, but I think he's gonna nail me very quickly. But we need people like that as well, and we actually work very closely together. But guess what he's doing? He's going and asking the community, even though he's coming from the community and he plays games all the time. And I'm still playing games, yes, if you're asking that. Like I just played a marathon, but I'm actually going specifically to the games that I'm right now developing to actually understand it a little bit more. Then the corporate level. Well, it really depends. I don't think that corporate will really get you away from the development. It's you who is getting yourself away from the development. You can be in corporation and still be in the development. It's the decision of the corporate person. Are they going to just become a corporate leader person, or are they going to be still developers? When I joined Techland, the first question that the COO asked me was very simple. What the hell are you doing here, and how are you going to help us? Why are you here? I was like, well, that was brutal. Thank you for saying hi. Good to know you. I'm Miloš, and I right now feel like an asshole. And I did, but I actually said, I'm here for you. Tell me what you need. And I was sitting and I was just listening. I was listening to their problems. At Wargaming, when I joined, when I was as well quite high in corporation, I was basically CEO -2. I sit down with every single team and I ask them a simple question: how can I help you? And I was looking for the smallest things. And one of the teams, the technical artist, they came up with a very simple question: can you actually get us the keys to the ceiling, to the roof of the building? So, what do you mean? I was like, well, they were actually doing scanning of the star because they needed actually a picture of the sky during the night to actually do a printed stuff in a game. Went to the building, to the office building, and I was like, I need the keys from the ceiling, from the roof. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah, don't ask, please. I just need the freaking keys. They were like, but it's against security, it's against policies. I was like, do you want me to succeed? I was like, yes. Cool, give me the keys. So I got the keys. I actually gave it to the lead technical artist. I was like, if something happens to someone, I will get fired. But before I will get fired, I will actually come for freaking you. They took the picture. They came back, and they were like, okay, so you are here to help. I was like, yes. Doesn't matter your position. It doesn't matter how far, how close to the CEO. If you are Phil Spencer, -1, doesn't matter. It's actually you who will decide. Are you there for the corpo, or are you there to help? If you are there to help, doesn't matter how far you are. I'm right now completely different team, and I'm still actually helping them on a day-to-day. I just came, the reason why I was actually working today the full day here, I had one call with Tencent, and the rest was actually with Techland. I was talking with the designers. I was talking with the junior designers. We were working on a map. It's up to you. Do you want to do it, or do you want to do the corpo work? I don't. I'm a developer. I love developing. I have love for levels, and if you tell me hey, do you want to help with levels? Yeah, it's still there. You will never get it away from me. It's still here. So I think it's about a person. It's not about a position or title. And sorry, I'm as well shitty as hell. You probably noticed.
All right. Anyone else? Yep. Okay.
Do you think you'll ever try to build your own company one more time?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. It's a really good question. I have to think about it. I think if I would have the opportunity, maybe, yeah. I think it's about, for me, opening a company is not about even having an idea or having the opportunity, but I think it's actually having the right people around you. I would have not opened a company if I wouldn't have people that I really wanted to work with. I think the best companies are about the people. It's not about the idea, it's not about the money, it's not about it's about the people. If I would have the right people, if I would have, again, the right folks saying hey, heck, let's do it. Don't tell to Tencent, don't tell to my boss, but I don't know. But yeah, probably. Right now, no. Right now, I really would like to see, how far can I get on the publishing side, because it is new experience, and I want to learn. I do believe that if I get to a situation where I want to stop learning, it's probably the moment for me to change the industry. I really I think it was actually you who said that you are always trying to learn new things and find new challenges. For me, it's a similar thing. Even even within the game industry, I'm still looking for the new challenges. I think it's important. I want to ship something with the challenge and then move on, but I still want to actually then learn something new. So if I would have the right people, the right push, and I think the right challenge ahead of me, then yes.
Thank you.
And I think everyone should try it, by the way. I really do.
Yes, one more question.
My question is, where should I find the right people?
I think places like this is perfect. I think, you know, the right people are coming usually from a passion. So I would be actually going to events that very passion, very circular passion, you know, game jams, hubs, incubators, events, you know. Jakub already left, but like game access, like I think now it's what, nearly April, game access is in May, I believe, right?
At the end of May, it's at 28th of May.
Yeah. Have you been already on game access? Okay.
I'm very new to this.
Awesome. So please go to a game access. Go to a game access and volunteer there. I'm volunteering every year, completely, you know, with no money. I'm volunteering since year 1. I missed one because it was COVID, but otherwise I was actually on every single game access as a volunteer. I was before on game access on the game development session as well as a volunteer. I'm still actually volunteering now for game access. In fact, I'm here volunteering as well. Even though they offer me that they will pay the accommodation and everything, I will not take it. Thank you. I actually did it myself. This is volunteering. I think this is the best way for you as well. You know, just go and, you know, volunteer. In a game access as a volunteer, you will get access. You can actually listen to people. You will usually get like a half day for, you know, working, and then half a day you can actually just go and mingle with people. I know that sometimes game developers and IT people, we might not be the most outgoing, except if you are Miloš, and it looks like you are eccentric. And no, I'm not. I'm actually introvert, even though it doesn't look like. It takes lots of energy for me to actually go out. But you have to, the same way like I do it right now. You know, push your boundaries, go, talk. Try to, you know, show your ideas. You will get people to get excited. Talk with those people. You know, I know it's not always easy, but it is something that if you really want, you know, to be there, just go and, I think game jams are probably the easiest, but yeah, then the events. And here in Czech Republic, you have so many opportunities, especially in Brno. Like I think you are, and yes, I do like Brno, you are in the best dev city in the world. I think Brno is amazing for that. And I'm not saying it like, I've lived in Helsinki, Minsk, now in Wrocław, in Slovenia, in Prague. Sorry, I love Prague as well, but Brno is better. And yeah, even though I'm actually originally from Bohemia, I will still say it. And now, right now, probably my girlfriend hates me because she really likes Prague.
I can only second especially the show your ideas part, because like that's the main thing. If you want someone to get excited about your project, you have to talk about it. So even if it's not perfect.
Don't be afraid of it. Like, you know, it's fine that someone will say your idea sucks. Do you know what would be the worst about your idea? That the room will be silent. Because in that case, no one really cares. The best ideas, they will be polarizing. Exactly as you said, like, you know, the ideas that are the best, they usually have a tendency of splitting the audience. It means that there is something interesting. The worst ideas are the ones that are like, so what do you think? You know, and you see people watching, like, going through, you know, phone and stuff. Probably didn't click. You will hear your idea sucks. That's fine. That's fine. Learn something out of it. Ask why. Ask the questions. Don't take it personally. Try to be open for it. You know, it's fine. Like always, when I'm doing one-on-ones with my people, I do like monthly one-on-ones with all of my employees. What I actually do is that I ask them, like I give them a feedback, and then I ask them for a simple thing. I want to know what I should start doing, stop doing, and continue doing. They have one green card that they don't have to give it to me. The next time, I ask first them. If they don't give any negative feedback to me, I will not give them any feedback. It's fair. I know it sounds rough, but it's fair. If I'm giving you feedback, I want to hear the feedback from you, and I actually want to hear what I should improve. Because frankly speaking, how can I improve if you don't tell me? And like, it's very hard to offend me, I will say it this way. I was working in World of Tanks. I actually gave to the World of Tanks community my nickname in the game. I got killed there so many times just because I existed. I heard everything about myself, about my mom. Everything. Trust me, offending me is very hard. Like, I would say it this way. If you find a creative way how to offend me that I haven't heard of, I will buy you a bottle. And to you, I will find some other ways, non-alcoholic way as well. But like, Please, like it's something that like I have probably everything. Do I still get sometimes emotional? Of course I do. It's fine. If I wouldn't have emotions, you know, it's. But the first thing when I get emotion, I'm trying to very quickly calm down and start asking simple questions. Why did I get emotional? It's good to get emotion. It means that you care about something. But be open to those emotions, listen to those emotions, and try to understand why. And do the same thing when you are pitching your games. Don't be afraid. Take the feedback. Take the negative feedback. Be more curious about the negative feedback than about the positive feedback. They are both important. It's not only one side.
All right, one more question.
What's your approach to saying that some work is done? Because I feel like there's always something to add to anything, and it might be hard to say, okay, let's be done with it, and ship it, or just continue with something different.
Yeah. So at Remedy, the audio team didn't talk to me for like a month. I actually asked IT to disconnect their access to SVN or perforce. AKA to those who are not like IT or technical savvy, what I basically told them was go home, you cannot improve your game anymore. I actually blocked them. They were screaming at me, they were yelling at me. They were begging me, well they actually went through the whole shebang, right? They first started by angry, then they actually went into begging, then they actually went to forgiveness, and then they started again angry. Then they actually all left, and then they thought that I'm the biggest asshole in the world. And then in a month they were like, we were destroying our own lives and our own game, didn't we? I was like, yep, you did. You did. They actually did the trick. We were in bug fixing, and they reversed engineer that until they are going to be blockers and criticals on their side, they can work. So they started actually fixing everything that was minor. So they could actually improve. They could polish. Because they knew that they are still criticals and blockers, so I cannot actually stop them. Well, I did. Just different. Is there always a time to improve? Mm-hmm. Is it a rabbit hole? Mm-hmm. Is at Remedy there is a running joke. It takes about 80% or it takes about 20% to get to 80%, and it takes about 80% to do the final 20%. And it's rough. The polish, you know, is the most expensive, the most difficult, and it's as well the moment when you sit down with Sami Järvi and you say, Sami, we are over. Mikael Kasurinan does the CEO, does the head of control, the person who came up with control. Miksu? Sorry, we have to go. I actually asked the CEO to literally move them to different projects. That's actually how Control started. Control started by literally me going and begging the CEO, could you allow them to start new game? To get them fucking out of Quantum Break. And I love Miksu and Sami. I would always work with them again. They can be eccentric, they can be sometimes pretty stubborn, especially Miksu. Hi Miksu, if you are watching. Love him every single bit. But yeah, we had to move them away. And in that moment, it's usually on producer. How you find it out? I think if someone would have an answer for that, probably multi-billionaires. Usually, it's money or time. That will actually do it for you in some ways. But at the same time, it must be like the best way, if it's your own project, user testing. Give it to players, they will tell you. You know, they will tell you what's good and what's not. And like, I don't like any more early access because I think early access is way overpopulated, and especially if you do shooters, don't do early access. That's how I learned as well the hard way. But you know, getting the game to players early is super important because then you can develop it with the audience. You can as well ask your audience how to, you know, what to do. Still, you have to have your vision. The players will tell you one thing. You need to decipher it. You need to find out what they mean, because if they say this gun is not strong enough, it might not mean that the gun is not strong enough. It might mean as well that the other guns are stronger. Careful on that. Like, don't take players' feedback literally, but try to explain it. Try to, you know, understand what they are saying. And then it's up to you. Then it's up to you to say like, hey, you know, you have to kill your babies. It sounds awful if I say it this way, but and I know I'm not killing my son yet. Sometimes he's trying my nerves. You know, it is a moment to say, you know, I have to go. And that's exactly when I said, you know, if you remember, learn to embrace the end. Yep, learn to embrace the end. Sometimes it's actually as well important to say, you know, enough. Like 9 to 5, our game that we were working on as a company, Red Hill. It was actually my game originally. It was me and the CTO, and at the end I was the executive producer and the creative director. We shipped it. I was, you know, we had it out. We still had money for it. We had money. We actually went through polish. We had a lot of players, but the retention wasn't there. Monetization was actually not bad. The feedback was somewhat mixed, but the retention was the main killer. But the players were still talking about it, and we had money to actually push for like 1.5 years extra. And then, you know, we sit down with the leadership, and they ask me, Miloš, do you want to continue? Do you think we should? Because we had a plan for about a year. And they were like, do you want to continue? And I said, no. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Up until today, you know, if you ask me what was the hardest, probably that. To say no. We will close it. We will kill it. And then I had to go and actually tell that to all the designers, tell that to the team, tell that to the people who spent 5 years working on it. Standing in front of them and saying, folks, we tried, we shipped. People talk about it, you can play it, but, you know, we will close it. At the end of the day, it's on you. At the end of the day, it's on the developer to decide, like, is it over? And it's not easy. Was it the right decision? I think so. Would I do it again? Mm-hmm. Would I want to be there again? I hope not. But I think I will be again at some point.
Thanks.
Sure. And yes, I still get emotional about that one even today, as you can see.
All right, are there any more questions? If not, oh, okay. Oh, wow, okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's probably the most question I've ever gotten. Thank you. I even, like, one of the reasons why the girlfriend is there is to actually ask question if someone didn't. That was the reason.
I have a very scary question. The thing I'm most afraid of is that my girlfriend will have to be the one who brings the money, and I really don't want that to happen. Is there anything you would recommend as like someone who's very early in game development as in their career? Because I would really like to do it, but I have no idea if I'll be able to make the money to sustain a family or just sustain myself at all.
I think it's a conversation you have to have. I think it's a conversation you have to have, and it's as well, you know, this is tough. Number one, there's the conversation for you to have with your girlfriend, with your family, you know, with a spouse or with a partner. Explain your passion. I have a hunch that they will probably say yes. They don't know what they are signing up for. They have no idea. And then it's going to be actually even more important question for you. Are you ready to take it? Because it's, you know, there is you will be scared to have the conversation, then you will have the conversation, then they will say probably yes. You're going to be super psyched and happy for like an hour. And then you will actually come up to that now it's, because they will move their responsibility to you. And that's the moment when it's not going to be them deciding, it's going to be you deciding. And the question you were asking me, you will have to answer. Would I do it? Yeah. Do I think game development is amazing? Heck yeah. Is it awesome career? Mm-hmm. Is it extremely difficult time right now for the industry? Yes. I would say the only worse industry than ours that goes through a crisis right now is the wine industry. And yes, I study enology and viticulture. I'm a lucky bastard, am I? Like if I say that I will start somewhere, you should probably run far away. But it is tough. It is a tough question. Do I think it's worth it? Mm-hmm. But it needs to be something that you will take, you know, be very open and be as well ready for yourself, because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tiring. And don't be afraid. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. You will probably, go low. Have I visited therapists? Yes. Of course. Have I even had, pills for stuff? Yes. Did I had a stroke 1st of April last year? Yes, I did. Do I think it was actually important? Yes. Am I sorry for that? No. Not even a single one. It's important. You will have to get ready for it. Sometimes our industry is beautiful, sometimes our industry is very difficult. But I think as well it's one of the best industries in the world, and I think it's, I would never say no again. That's the reason why I'm still actually pushing. That's why I'm still doing it. So I think it's more inside you if you really want to do it. I think all artists will pursue and will actually get to exactly your spot. I would actually, though, be very open to your partner as well, that this is going to be a right, and it might not work. And I know that you will say it out loud. I know as well that you will not think it's not going to work, because otherwise you wouldn't do it. It's fine. At some point, again, embrace the failure, embrace the end. But it's important to as well keep that in mind, and yeah.
There's your girlfriend in the chat, and she's saying that there are more problems with relocation than with money. So, anything to add to that? I'm here to represent.
Hi, honey. No, relocation is definitely hard. And she's completely correct, because she knows exactly that conversation. And yes, she's in Prague and I'm in Wrocław, which yes, it's 4 hours by train. There are always problems. You will always face problems. I think it's then on the people to talk. It's as well on the people to make it work. And I know we will make it work. I know that it's still not going to be the easiest, but I think it's about the conversation, and it's about being open-minded, and as well, again, embracing the end. You might find out after a year it's just not working out, and then you might actually say, you know what, I will now take a break, I will do something else, and then I will come potentially back when actually I will make the money, or when there's going to be a better situation. It's possible as well. And I know lots of people who dropped from the industry for a while, and they came back because they still had the urge, but maybe it wasn't the right time for them. I had to take a month off as well after the health stuff. It wasn't easy, but hey, I'm here and I have my features out as well, and my girlfriend is unhappy that I'm maybe not in Prague right now, and I'm actually in Brno talking here, or traveling to Wrocław. But it's something that it's a conversation.
Thank you so much. This is like free therapy right now. One more question, and I have one question as well, and then I think we will end the discussion, just so you have more time. Yeah, okay.
Thank you. You talked about feedback, so what do you think about our projects? Can you give us your feedback?
I would have to see it. I would have to see it. I think helicopter management is the worst thing ever. Without going through conversation, it doesn't make any sense. And anything I say is going to be just me shooting from a hip. I don't like to do that. I don't think it will be the wrong way. I think your projects sound very interesting. I think all of your projects have one in common, which is passion. That's the important thing. You were talking from your heart. You were talking from a passion. That's already a start. It's a really good start. I can tell you that. The fact that you are here, it's another great start. You are taking, the first steps. You are as well not afraid, because many people will never get here. Many people will never get here. You should listen to that. You are way ahead of all the, I think right now there's over 1 billion players. And trust me, that almost every single one of them has a game in their head. Probably yes. If not, it's just half. How many people are developing right now a game? Not 500 million. To be honest, we are getting slowly there with Unreal and Unity and everything, which is great. And that's one of the reasons why, for example, that slide is good. Because there are people like me who actually are really sucks in art. And if they can actually then generate this, even though it was funny, I'm not sure if you see it, where was it? Yeah. It's completely misinterpreted in here. Like they are complete gibberish on the screen. You know, it's fine. But it allows people who have idea and love to do that. So you are already ahead of the curve. It's great. And I think you can actually feedback yourself. To give a real feedback, I would have to sit down. We would have to ideally play, or take a look on the GDDs, or have a longer discussion. If someone will come, you will like the one thing which is going to be super hard is. Do you know where is coming the word elevator pitch? It's actually coming from Apple, from Steve Jobs. When Steve Jobs originally was one of the founders of Apple, but he was as well fired. Not many people talk about it, but he was actually moved away from Apple. Then Apple started to fail, and they called him back. It wasn't failing because he wasn't there. There was multiple reasons, and I'm always saying, Steve Jobs, if you want one book, Creativity Incorporated, from the Pixar people, amazing. You really should read the book. It's awesome. It as well says why, not many people know, Steve Jobs actually invested to Pixar. He was actually one of the main co-founders of Pixar. And they actually disallowed him from ever entering the building. Because he was an asshole. And he was awful with people. He had great ideas, and they should never be heard by the people. It was only the CEO who was actually talking to him because he was super destructive. But when he joined back Apple, what he did was that Apple had a system that higher you were in the building, usually you had actually a higher title. And basically he would, not many people knew him by then. So he would actually come to the elevator and he would come like this, like, what are you doing here? And if you couldn't explain until you got to your floor, you had a problem. The word elevator pitch. You had to pitch yourself on the right of the elevator. Because if you are a QA, you probably can explain it very quickly. And you were as well, let's be honest, you were in the lower floors. If you were a C-suite, you were in the top floor. You had a bit more time. And you had as well way harder time to explain it. And he would. When you are pitching your game to an investor, they say you have 5 minutes. You have about 30 seconds. Truth is, you have about 30 seconds. And if you go on YouTube, Twitch, X, when you are actually pitching to your players, take a look how, when you are having your phone and scrolling Instagram, how long does it take to you to actually go to the next picture? It's quite quick, right? It's like 0.5 to 2 seconds. That's the time. I love when people start their videos, trailers and stuff, by 0.5 seconds of black screen. Good luck. You probably got lots of people just scrolling through because it was probably frozen, right? They ignored you already. So when you are pitching, this is probably the most important thing. So even though I'm telling you, I will not give you feedback. I will not give you feedback because I'm a developer and I don't want to actually mislead you. But at the same time, when you are pitching, get ready. You really need to catch the attention like this. It needs to be quick. 30 seconds to see does it make sense or not. 5 minutes to actually get the attention. If in the 30 seconds you don't get the attention, you will probably, even the 5 minutes is already going to be hard. Then you have about 5 minutes to really, get it through. And then potentially, if you get a 5 minutes, you have the 30-minute slot. But that's it. Most meetings, even for people like me, when we were, for example, pitching, 9 to 5, when we had a half an hour slot with the investors, that was the maximum we could get, and that was because we actually knew them personally by first name and we were friends. For most of them, it was literally 10, 15 minutes somewhere on Gamescom in a bar. It's super loud, people are talking, you hardly hear each other, and you are bringing the laptop please, can you take a look? It's very difficult. So you need to be able to do that. But yeah, it's how it works.
You will hear about this more, but we actually do have the last meeting, the final meeting that we'll be having is on May 14th, and it's all going to be focused on your project. So that's going to be the time where we'll kind of show each other what we're working on, maybe how much far we got during the course, and it doesn't have to be a playable game, but just a prototype, just a showcase of your games.
And use it exactly for this idea, 30 seconds, 5 minutes. Think about it. Like, what do you say in the first 30 seconds? What do you say in the first minute? What do you say until the minute 5? I would say it this way. If you need more than 5 minutes to explain your game, you don't know your game yet. Continue working on it. Your game needs to be understandable in 5 minutes, because otherwise it's too complicated. You still didn't distill what is fun. You still didn't distill what is the key thing. The best games can be Minecraft, Lego for adults. Boom. How long did it take to me? Not much, right? That's exactly what you need to think about. How to sell it in those type of, very quick, super easy to understand forms. You need to get the attention. And to be honest, if you cannot explain it quickly, work more on the idea. Like I always say that why I love teaching is that for me to teach something, I have to learn it first to be able to teach it. Take it the same way. You need to learn your game, you need to understand your game, and you need to be able to distill it. If not, either you are not ready to pitch it, or the game isn't ready to pitch it. One of it.
All right, thank you so much. And one last question from me is going to be like a closing remark sort of thing. But so here in the audience, we have programmers, we have project leads, we've got artists
designers.
As well. Designers, yes.
Designers.
Are there any tips or skills that you think everyone in development should have that kind of make the cooperation easier for everyone?
Listen and never stop learning. Listen, take feedback, never stop learning. And keep the passion. If one of those 4 will not work for you, start thinking about changing the career. Because you will freeze. You will not improve. The question about can I still develop games right now, if you don't have those 4, half a year is enough. And you will lose the ability. Very quickly. If you don't want to play games, if you don't have the passion, if you don't want to listen to the feedback, if you don't want to learn new tricks and tips, take a look how quickly our industry is changing. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when someone actually first time showed me AI-generated pictures, I was laughing my ass off and saying it's never going to work. It doesn't look that bad, let's be honest. 5 years ago, there was nothing like ChatGPT really working. I tried it a few times. I tried it when my friend actually started, saying there's something interesting with the generated content that is and text. I was like, sure. He showed me some of it. I was like, I can break it in a second. Right now, I'm actually using it for checking my emails because it actually can do the emails better than I do. It's scary. So if you stop learning, you will be old very quickly. Not by age, but by not being able to. So I would say those 4. If you have those 4 things, it doesn't matter if you are QA, it doesn't matter if you are a producer, a lead, a CEO. Well, okay, it doesn't work for CEOs, they have a little bit different thing. But for everyone else except CEOs, it works. For CEO, they as well need to be butt-headed. But yeah, otherwise, those still needs to be there. I heard that. You should still do it. You are not CEO yet. I mean CEO of 500 people per company. And having billion in your pocket. If you have billion in your pocket, yeah, feel free to. It's fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the questions. And sorry for, I know I'm chitty fuck. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
And I think we will end the stream here, and all the information about the course I'll tell you in person. Feel free to grab some more food, and yeah, we'll take a short break just because we've been here for a long time and you probably need to go. So thank you for everyone who joined online. There are no more comments, so yeah, bye.
Thank you, bye.